On the Republican side, Donald Trump is taking his campaign to Massachusetts today. But yesterday, he made waves in South Carolina, a key early voting state. As Chip Reid reports, the Trump roadshow is facing a new level of scrutiny.
Trump gets earful in Spanish as Latino outlets air disdain.
Reading from the front page of the New York Times, Donald Trump took on a different brand of naysayers.
El hombre del pelequin. In other words, the man of the toupee. I don't wear a toupee. It's my hair. I swear.
And he turned to a member of the audience to see for herself.
Just come on up here. Look.
It is.
It is.
And despite being greeted by a group of Hispanic protesters, Trump insisted his relationship with their community was strong.
The Hispanics that are in the country legally, they love me.
Brushing off the Times,
Here, you can have it. Anybody want?
Trump continued to hammer his signature issue, immigration, and the wall he intends to build along the southern U.S. border.
Someday when I'm no longer around, they'll call it the Trump wall. It's got to be the greatest wall. Got to be the greatest.
But in a potential warning to Trump, a new Quinnipiac poll shows that 61% of voters feel the real estate mogul doesn't care about the needs of women. Speaking in Ohio, Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton said Republicans have it wrong.
Extreme views about women, we expect that from some of the terrorist groups. We expect that from people who don't want to live in the modern world.
In a press conference after his event, Trump declined to offer specifics, but said skeptical voters don't get it.
Women under my administration will be taken care of.
All right, so Chip Reid joins me now from Washington. Good morning, Chip.
Well, good morning.
So let's talk about Mr. Trump. He remains at the top of many polls, but there is a new Quinnipiac poll out that indicates he's not doing so well with Hispanic voters, even though he says the Hispanics in this country, they love me. And he's not doing so well with women, even though he repeats over and over again that women will be taken care of by a President Trump. What does he have to do to turn things around in those two groups?
Well, I haven't seen any sign that he wants to do anything to turn it around. I don't think he believes it. You know, when I was out with him in Iowa, we asked him about that, and he just doesn't seem to think it's a problem. I don't know if it's that he doesn't care or he doesn't believe it or he just can't help himself. He does his thing. He says, you know, how many Hispanics I have working for me. I have so many working for me, and they love me. I'm sure all the people love me. He just doesn't believe the polls. He believes that the power of his words will overcome whatever doubters there might be out there.
Right. He doesn't believe the polls except for the ones that show him at the top, right?
Oh, he fiercely believes those.
Well, we know that Trump is very critical of China. He was very critical in yesterday's speech. Marco Rubio later today will be speaking about his policy plans regarding China. What do we expect to hear from Rubio? Is he going to be tough on China?
He'll be tough on China, but in a very statesman-like way. He had an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal that said, a strong America militarily, economically, and morally is the only path to lasting peace and partnership between the U.S. and China. That is nothing like what we're hearing and what we're going to continue to hear from Donald Trump, who just bashes them on both sides of the head. So Marco Rubio trying to be a statesman, Donald Trump trying to be something entirely different. Anne-Marie?
So I'm curious, with talk like that, do you think Marco Rubio is setting himself up to be in the crosshairs of Donald Trump in Donald's next speech?
I doubt it. I really do, because Donald Trump's record is that he goes after people who go after him. He doesn't really care about people who say statesman-like things that disagree with what he says. But if you say anything negative about Donald Trump, watch out.
Indeed. Chip Reid in Washington, thank you very much.
You bet.
Now be sure to tune in to Face the Nation this weekend. John Dickerson marks 10 years since Hurricane Katrina with presidential candidate and governor, Bobby Jindal, and New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu. And that's Sunday morning on Face the Nation.